Vice President, Second Lady, Greater Accra Regional Minister, the National Chief Imam, members of the National Council of Muslim Chiefs, Ulama, Jama, fellow Ghanaians, ladies and gentlemen. I bring you the greetings of Islam. Salam alaikum. We continue to give praise to Almighty God for the gift of life and for another opportunity to celebrate Eid-Ul Adha. God continues to bless our homeland Ghana, and we must be thankful for his mercies towards us. National Chief Imam, Jamal, the COVID-19 pandemic is still with us, unfortunately, and this has meant that for the second year running, we are having to hold a subdued Eid celebration. As we continue to count on the grace of God to protect our country from the ravages of the pandemic, like we have done since its outbreak, we can only minimize its health effects and avoid a full-blown third wave if we continue to be responsible and observe the safety and hygiene protocols. The recent increase in the number of infections is a source of worry for me and indeed for all Ghanaians. From the rising numbers, it is safe to conclude that we have let our guard down and we're beginning to live our lives and conduct our businesses as though we are in normal times. It is important to repeat that the virus is still with us, and until each and every one of us receives a double dose of the vaccine, the protocols must continue to be a part and parcel of our daily activities. The Ministry of Health is working hard to ensure that even in the midst of a global shortage of vaccines, the target that we have set for ourselves, that is the vaccination of the adult population of Ghana, i.e. some 20 million Ghanaians, is undertaken. Until that goal is achieved, I will continue to count on the support and cooperation of the Ghanaian people to ensure our collective security. Jama, Eid-Ul Adha holds great lessons for us. The sacrifice of Prophet Ibrahim, which we celebrate today, must spur us on to sacrifice for the progress and prosperity of our country. Sacrificing for our country means giving of our best in our various areas of endeavor and making the national interest paramount in whatever we do. The month of Zulhijjah, which is the month in which the Hajj and Eid-Ul Adha are held, is one of Islam's holiest months. In this month, Muslims dedicate themselves to prayers, the remembrance of Allah, giving charity to the poor and needy, and other acts of devotion. I ask the Muslim Ummah in Ghana to remember our nation during these periods of devotion. Pray for wisdom and guidance for me and for members of my government, so that we can steer the ship of state in a manner that allows us to navigate the stormy and turbulent economic and other challenges that confront our nation and the world. I have always been on the side of Ghana, and I shall never act in any manner, deliberate or otherwise, that will serve as a disadvantage for the Ghanaian people. Our country is making a faster economic recovery in comparison to many around the world, with our economy expanding by 3.1% in the first quarter of 2021. In many economies around the world, due to the effects of COVID-19, governments are finding it difficult to attract the needed investments in the productive areas of their economies. However, our situation appears to be different, as the investor community continues to cast a vote of confidence in our economy, and several companies are making investments in our economy that will create jobs for the young people of our country. The latest notable example is the Toyota Vehicle Assembly Plant, which I commissioned on 29th of June 2021. In spite of the difficulties of the COVID era, we continue to fund all our flagship programs. We continue to provide the basic amenities of life to our people, and we're determined to continue in that respect. As has been well publicized, a few days ago, the Ministry of Finance granted financial clearance to the Ministry of Education and the Security Services to recruit some 11,800 people to beef up their operations. It does not end there. We will, through interventions to be set out in the mid-year budget review, which the Minister of Finance will place before Parliament on Thursday, 29th July, announce plans for the creation of some 1 million more jobs under the Ghana Cares Obatampa project over the course of the next 3 years. We are determined to pursue our agenda for job creation in order to give opportunities to our youth to nurture their talents for the development of our country. National Chief Imam, Ulama, Jama'ah, the Prophet, whose supreme act of sacrifice we celebrate today, Prophet Ibrahim, is known as, quote, the father of the people of the book, unquote. The people of the book refers to Jews, Christians, and Muslims. And so it is difficult to celebrate Prophet Ibrahim and not talk about the religious unity and harmony of our country. Last Friday, I inaugurated this mosque in which we observe the Eid prayer today, the first such in its history. This mosque by itself is a testimony to the religious unity and harmony prevailing in our country. Its minaret, as it shoots into the sky, bears ample evidence of the environment of peaceful coexistence amongst the various faiths that we have fashioned for ourselves. I thank the National Chief Imam for his significant role in writing parts of these beautiful chapters of our history. We continue to pray for wisdom and strength for the Chief Imam as he offers leadership not just to the Muslim flock, but also to the whole population. I call on all Muslims, indeed all Ghanaians, to emulate the life of tolerance of the Chief Imam, so we can create a free, conducive atmosphere for the development of our nation. Jama'ah, I pledge my support for the continuous development of Zongo communities. In the last 4 years, the Zongo Development Ministry and Fund have done considerable work in many Zongo communities across the country. Many of the projects the fund has undertaken are being commissioned across the length and breadth of the country. A few days ago, I unveiled a modern AstroTurf football pitch constructed by the Fund for the People of Salaga in the Savannah region as part of my tour of that region. I want to register my gratitude to the former Minister for Inner City and Zongo Development, Dr. Mustafa Abdul Hamid, now the Chief Executive Officer of the National Petroleum Authority, NPA, for the zeal and commitment with which he tackled the Zongo development agenda. I am confident that under the new coordinator of the Zongo development agenda, the Honorable Ben Abdallah Banda, former Member of Parliament for Offensa South, we shall see equally rapid progress in development in our Zongo communities. I call on all youth in Zongo communities to take advantage of these development initiatives, to develop their talents and thereby contribute to the development of our country. Zongo residents have a proud history of great contribution to the development of our country, and I urge you to follow in the footsteps of your forebears. We in the MPP promised Zongo youth in the run-up to the 2016 election that we will not allow Zongo communities to be turned into storehouses for recruiting young people for violent purposes. We have lived up to that promise because we see Zongo communities as communities of great potential and talent, which can be harnessed for the development of Zongo communities and the entire country. Before I take my seat, National Chief Imam, Ulama, let me state that I am a firm supporter of free speech. The government I lead is also a firm supporter of free speech, amply evidenced by the atmosphere of free speech prevailing in the country. However, we must all bear in mind that words can be as incendiary as guns. The Bible tells us that death and life are in the power of the tongue. All it took was the muttering of words by some irresponsible journalists and amplified by the power of radio to ignite the tragic genocide in Rwanda. It is important for all of us to recognize that there's only one country we call home, and that is Ghana. We must protect our way of life in the words of the National Pledge, with all our strength and with all our hearts. We should not allow the actions and utterances of a few misguided persons to jeopardize and destroy the united Ghana we currently possess, which is the envy of many in the continent and in the world. National Chief Imam, Ulama, Jama'ah, I'm sure that I can continue to count on the support of the Muslim Ummah in Ghana for the development of Mother Ghana. Let us make merry and be happy this day, but let us celebrate in moderation. We need one another alive for the task of nation building. May God bless us all in our homeland Ghana and make her great and strong. Salam alaikum. Barka da Salah.
Ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Addo Addo, has just delivered his address. Your Excellency, because of the majority of people here